Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies 2. So I've been doing a little bit of upgrades in my time off. I actually pre-recorded a couple episodes and that's what I've been uploading for the last week or so because my wife had to sell some stuff at a convention and now it's over and we're all back home and it's time to get back to some recording. So I've been doing some upgrading in my downtime, and a lot of it has to do with the ME system. So I've gone through and I've added a couple of connecting cables that are now linking the output of my grinding system into the ME system. So here we have my former dust chest is now being pumped in. As is all the Certus quartz and nether quartz dust. So I expanded the lava generation area a little and added another drum. There's still a lot of energy draw here because I just keep hooking up more and more machines. I just can't seem to help myself. So I've over here in the automated soul sand area, I'm just going in and occasionally dumping in the sand, and that's been grinding down into soul sand. So over here I added a couple more casting tables to kind of speed up the export, and over here I'm going to prep for hooking this furnace into the ME system. So what I've done by piping all the processed dust into the ME system is it actually runs underneath this whole basement area and connects up in this channel into some new smelteries. So I created 3 mini smelteries here and hooked them up to the lava production area. So these are now getting dust from the ME system in various formats. So this is a normal export bus which has a single capacity card which upgrades it to 5 holders. So you have to have the item type in the export bus for it to automatically export from the ME inventory. And so that's getting dumped automatically into these mini smelteries, which are then filling the molten ore here in each smeltery tank, which is then getting pumped out into individual casting tables, which are then in turn piped up to this chest, which is then fed back into the ME system through this import bus. And so all that's happening automatically to generate quite a large amount of ore. So if we just do a quick check on the amount of ingots, I have over 1,200 ingots, 1,000 copper, 1,200 iron, just a massive amount of ingots. But I don't have the ones in the right format for me to get additional quests, so that's what I would like to work on today here in Agrarian Skies. So just a quick demo. I've been hooking up the ME system out here. So my next quick task is to suck out the inventory of these 2 chests. So the ore berry chest I had to empty at once is gathering quite a lot of ores, and all these can be combined in a 3x3 pattern, which I guess I have to burn down the ore berry. The iron ore berry, these are supposed to be interchangeable with nuggets. So if I take the iron, let's try that again. Right, so 9 of the iron ore berries will create an iron ingot. So I might just have to melt down the gold individually in the smeltery, which shouldn't be a problem. I'll try throwing it into the auto combiner and see what happens there. But one thing I did want to do in the quest book, if I go back to the Tinker Toys area, here I have this growing slimy. So The previous quest gave me a slimy sapling as a reward, so I'm going to try growing this guy. I'm going to accelerate it with some bone meal, and let's see what pops out. Anything? No. Okay, let's try again. Let's put it over here. Okay, that's too many bone meal. Okay, so that's not going to do it. So there must be some other restriction to the slime to get it to grow. So I'm going to do a little research there before moving forward. And yeah, so one of the things I wanted to accomplish just in the short term was to come up with a automatic formula for Enderium. So if we go through and look at the molten Enderium formula, it's going to take 1 bar silver, 2 bars tin, 1 bar shiny, which is platinum, and 4 ender pearls. And so that all together is going to create 4 molten Enderium, which will create 4 ingots. So let's just quick throw all that into the smeltery. And so that was some tin, some platinum, some silver, and ender pearls. So if I just come over here, and the trick here is let's pause the take the redstone clock out so it doesn't automatically pour. But so if we take 4 of these, some platinum, some tin, and a silver ingot, and let this burn down, then we see here that once it all combines, it should automatically transform into molten Enderium. Wonderful. Alright, so let's throw the automatic clock back on. We can see it now does a double pour, so it will now absorb twice the ingots, and so that should allow me to create a automatic formula over here in the pattern terminal, such that 4 of these, 1 of these, 2 tin, and 1 silver will transform into 4 Enderium. Let me grab a pattern, and what I like to do is place this into the interface underneath the smeltery controller. And so anything that's adjacent to the controller should pipe in material, and let's just make sure. Okay, so right now it is connected through the green cable back to the ME interface. So if I go back, I should be able to just automatically order up Enderium. So I'll take those 4, I'll craft, let's craft 8, start, and what should happen is all those materials got dumped into the ME system, from the ME system into the smeltery, and they're just going to burn down automatically. And so I'm going to have a problem because this automatic clock is going to want to absorb them. So okay, so I'm going to have to come up with a slightly different approach here. Probably make its own dedicated it's going to need its own dedicated smeltery, and that way I can put a I can use this approach where I use a fluid duct, but I then can put a servo on the smeltery drain to restrict to only allow the molten fluid to come through for molten Enderium. And then that should block the non-smelted form from flowing. Alright, so this is going to take some more work. But here we see we have additional Enderium. And so that's really going to help with a whole bunch of formulas. So if I go and look at the Enderium ingot, so there's all sorts of things I can make. This will allow me to start making energy cells for storing RF power. So that appears the only way that we can, well, with redstone energy cells, but the resonant energy cell is going to be the 50 million. That's going to have the greatest storage amount, and that'll act as the replacement capacitor here in Agrarian Skies. So it'll also allow me to upgrade a lot of my machines. So things like I'll be able to make servos. So these are some of the fastest servos in the game. They're just half a second delay. I've used them quite a lot in Sky Factory, and so I'm really looking forward to using that. But which reminds me, out here in the storage wars, which one was that? No, I'm sorry. Right, so what I need in thermal transport is I need to be able to make a retriever. So that one was a little tricky because to make the basic retriever I needed Enderium nuggets. And so let's take one of these Enderium ingots and break it down into nuggets, and now I should be able to craft the retriever. Wonderful. So that means I can now cash in the reward, which has opened up all sorts of devices here. Wonderful. So thermal beginnings. So I've already made plenty of machine frames and rubber saplings, frankly. So automated lumberjack, machine shop table. Okay, so that's going to be things I'm going to pursue quite shortly. Sawmill. There we go. That shouldn't be that hard. So sawmill is going to require a machine frame, which I have already created a formula for. And I should have all the other parts. I'll need to make a iron axe and copper gears and done. See, this is how nice the ME system is. So claim the reward. Okay, so it looks like this is a device that will increase the production for various things that require producing logs. The pulverizer I've already created. Nether redstone ore. Very good, because I'm going to need that for the redstone dendrons, if I recall. So let's claim those rewards. And redstone cooking. So redstone furnace, I already made one, and that's going to get me some gold ore. Which reminds me, if I head downstairs, one of the things I wanted to show was this is the existing ME system machine area, and so all of these are now hooked up with various patterns that I'm just going to keep adding to. So I'm going to put I'm going to take a quick cut here and clean my inventory and throw the sawmill into the ME system, and then I'll explore what it's able to do. Alright, I'm back, and I seem to be having a problem with the ME system. So anytime I go in to make a pretty large crafting order, the whole system shuts down because essentially I'm exceeding the ability of the system to deliver RF power back to all the machines. So what I've decided is I'd like to make some of the energy cells. So what I'd like to do is work my way up to a resonant energy frame, because this guy is going to also allow me to make deep storage units. And so in of itself, it's not that complicated now that I have Enderium ingots, because I should be able just to automatically craft these formulas. So hardened glass is an interesting formula. I'm able to make it with the induction smelter, or pulverized obsidian and lumium. Lumium's a little complicated because as a molten material, I essentially have to mix silver, tin, and glowstone. So I'm going to have that same problem as I'm having with the redstone in just mixing it in a smeltery. So the alternative is hardened glass, which is just obsidian and ingots, or I can pour molten lead on top of obsidian. So obsidian I can get through either just producing them in the igneous extruder, or I have actually created an ME based stone barrel. So I can dump items into the stone barrel, namely all I have to do is add lava and water, and actually I'm not sure that will quite work. If I were to pump both fluids into a stone barrel, would it create obsidian automatically? I'm probably just better off pumping items into the igneous extruder. So in order to do that, I'm going to need some more fluid ducts, so specifically the hardened fluid ducts. So let's go down and hook up the lava stream to the other side of the that igneous extruder. So let's so the lava stream is over here. Well, this is getting a little wacky with the layout, but if I were to throw that down, let's see, I think I can just route it like this. There we go. Alright, so that should create a pipe up to here. Yep, that will contain the lava. So now, hopefully, everything should start to route into here. I see the problem. So the problem is actually I need to open up the input channel here on the left, and that will bring in the lava. So now I should be able to switch into obsidian mode and have this automatically. Oops. That is not automatically. Okay, there we go. So that should absorb the obsidian and place it here in the landing area, but because there is no destination pipe that can accept it, it's just going to accumulate here. So let me grab the obsidian out. Let's go over here and grab some lead ingots. If I just throw a stack in, that should be fine. And then what I can do is I can right click on the casting basin, and that places the obsidian inside the basin. And so once this burns down and becomes molten lead, which you see will be right here, whoop, I should be able to come over here, right click on the seared faucet, and that's going to pour down over the obsidian and create hardened glass. So now I should have hardened glass, which is going to be absorbed into the ME system. So I can just kind of pump these down. So that's another thing. Rather than go through and spend the time on making throwing obsidian into the pulverizer, this is just a quick and dirty way of doing that. But eventually I'll have to set up the ME system to automatically make the hardened glass, but that should be good enough for now. So if we go back to the redstone energy frame, I should be able to make a pattern for an empty one, and that's going to go into the molecular assembly automatic formulas. And then once we have one of these, we're going to create a formula for a resonant energy version here. Okay, resonant energy frame. So let's throw that in. So if I do this right, let me take a quick cut and set up the formulas, and then I should be able to automate everything. Okay, there's two more things I need to make before I can move forward, and one of them is the fluid transposer and the magma crucible. So what this is going to do, if I work backwards, the resonant energy cell frame is going to be filled by the fluid transposer, and that's going to take an empty frame and turn it into a full frame. I need to get the stabilized redstone by burning down redstone in a magma crucible, and so before I can do that, I have to build them. So magma crucible, I don't have any of the parts, so I'm going to need to get another brick. Leadstone energy cell frame. I'm going to need to make another one of these. Actually, that's not that bad. I just need more glass. So let's get that burning. And the nether brick is going to be a little tricky because I need to create a brick block from 4 nether brick, which comes from burning netherrack. And netherrack can be produced, actually, it's going to be expensive, but I can do it. So let me grab some of these. So what's going to happen, and this is a formula that you can use the stone barrel to make, is anytime that you have lava in a stone barrel, if you add redstone to it, it'll turn into netherrack. So we just saw that very briefly flipped up to netherrack. So what I'm going to do is kind of build out the formulas to make this happen. So yeah, I'm very rapidly only getting to the point where I am only doing activities if I can automate them. So the stone barrel formula here, I'm going to take the redstone to netherrack pattern. So as we saw, I now have a formula. Let's make 10 of them, and just like that, we can see it converting 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So let's take some of this netherrack and make a very quick trip down to the redstone furnace. And so what I'd like to do is one of these in the redstone furnace produces 1 nether brick. And so with that I can create yet another formula such that 1 netherrack equals 1 nether brick. Okay, and there we go, encoded pattern. So that will go in the redstone furnace. So now I should be able to craft up nether bricks. So I'm going to need 7 more. And so that's going to now take the netherrack and cook those down. The magma crucible will then need a lot more things, so let's grab a machine frame basic. Grab one of those. We'll need in-bar gears. Throw those in. Cook that down. So I did make a formula for in-bar. So that's just going to take iron ingots and the ferrous tin, or I'm sorry, nickel, and those go together in a induction smelter, and that will automatically combine them with a bit of RF power to create in-bar ingots. So what I'd like to do is just it's slightly cheaper to pour out gears with the casting formula, so it takes 1 less ingot than if you were just doing it through the combining formula. So the leadstone energy cell frame is good, and the last item should be the nether bricks, which I should have enough to make 2 nether brick blocks, which gets me 1 magma crucible. Great. And so the fluid transposer block is actually going to be much simpler. I think I might even have everything ready to go. Oh, I just need 1 bucket and done. 1 fluid transposer. So let's hook these up to the ME system and grab 2 of these. I'm going to need some import buses, so let's get 2 of those going, and let's head downstairs. So once I get everything hooked up, that's going to really help me automate a lot of formulas. Now this might be a little tricky because I think, yeah, the magma, I'm basically probably going to need to do this twice. So if I, let's see. Yeah, this isn't going to work well. I forgot my my cable. So I'm only going to be able to, I'm going to need to create a second set of devices just for the, we're going to grab our 2 import buses. So I'm going to need 1 dedicated pair for redstone and a second dedicated pair for glowstone. but I think that should be good enough right now for what I needed to do. Let's hook these around the corner and put down the two ME interfaces. And so what I'd like it to do is take redstone in the top. It'll output the molten redstone off to the right, which then I would like the input to be the device input should be or the fluid should come from the left, and the items should come from the top, and the output should go down, and then that should be everything I need to build it. Now, I might have to move it over a bit, I think. I think I might need to set up an automated formula here, maybe to, yeah, if I'm going to have this as a dedicated device. Yep, I've changed my mind. Okay, so let's make a export bus. Grab one of these. And what I'll need to do is remove this guy, remove that guy. Let's grab the ME cable over here. I'll take the export bus and plug it in right there. So what I'll need is just one piece of redstone and some food very shortly. But I'll be able to do that in due time. So let's throw the redstone in the export bus. So that's automatically going to tap from the inventory and start to place. Let's see. That's not hooking up for some reason. I think I may have too many machines hooked up here. In fact, I definitely have too many machines hooked up. So let's throw alternate cable here and break the one here. Okay. And does that device missing channel? Great. Okay, so I don't think I can actually hook it up like this with items in the middle. So let's reverse the flow here and grab up all the items that I've dropped. Did the export bus just fly off the edge? Yeah, it did. Alright, so let's take a quick cut and I'll be right back. Alright, now I should have everything that I need. So what I have here is an interface hooked up to the blue network, the fluid transposer on the left and the magnet crucible on the right. The magnet crucible will be hooked to this export bus. So when I have a redstone here, that's going to start pumping redstone into the top. And so that then is going to fill the reservoir here. So it's going to burn up to 10,000 millibuckets, so 10 buckets worth of redstone automatically. And so now this is eventually going to run out of power. So let's come over here and grab some spare flux ducts, and that will provide the redstone power that I need right here. Let's just tap right here. Great. So that'll give us the RF power for the two machines. Okay, that's a pretty big energy draw, unfortunately. So this will probably end up, yeah, that's more than my system can deliver. So that'll be interesting to see. So what I'd like is that the output side should now be on the left, and the input side to the fluid transposer for fluid should be on the right. And we see that that just absorbed all the redstone fluid into this processing tank. And so what should happen then is that I'm going to place the import bus here on the bottom, and that should find its way online shortly. And then if I take the frame, well, let's start building one. So Resonant Energy Frame. It's going to need all the, so the glass is going to be made from burning down the, pulverizing the obsidian, turning it into, and then combining it with the leadstone in the machine. Let's just hit start and watch it go. And so that'll pulverize and then create the hardened glass. The hardened glass will then make the energy cell frame in the crafting area. Oh, what am I waiting for? Okay, I have to wait for all that to craft. So, right like that, I now have a resonant energy frame. And so one of these into, that'll come out the top. And what should happen is that maybe there's not enough redstone. The resonant energy frame how much oh, it needs 4 buckets worth here. So if I come here, okay, what's the problem? I don't have enough, I bet you I don't have enough redstone in the system. Yep, that's exactly it. So let's throw in a couple more of these. Should probably place the this terminal down here with a crafting terminal so I don't run into this problem again. But so I'd run out of little redstone blocks, so those are going to pour in here, which are going to fill up here. And once this reaches 4,000, now that's enough to start processing the resonant energy cell frame. And this is going to tick up, and when that's done, that will then dump the output into this lower box, which will then connect to the import bus and suck that item back into the ME system. And so with a resonant energy frame, I should now be able to make the full resonant energy cell. Oops. Switch back. I'm missing 1 conductance coil, which means I'm missing redstone. Okay. So I think what's happening is those are burning down faster than I can create the parts with. Unfortunately, this direction. Let's grab a couple of those. I'll eventually make a formula for that too. What I really want to do is make this resonant energy formula. There we go. There we go. And like that, I now have 1 resonant energy cell, which should store 50 million RF power. So let's come over here and throw it into the ME, throw it into the power system. So let's just put it, I don't know, here. And so that's going to start absorbing all the spare RF, which I don't think I have any. And then that will then work in a in and out direction. So as devices need power, it'll be absorbed, and any time that I'm not running any machines, this will build up and save it for, well, the rainy day. And so with that, I think I am going to call it an episode. A lot of crafting, not much progression in the quest books, but I've kind of set myself up pretty well for the future. And so I will see you next time on Agrarian Skies 2. Bye.